Week 4 of the WPIAL season is upon us, and welcome to Plum Stadium here in Plum, Pennsylvania. Tonight, the Shaler area Titans come in to visit the Plum Mustangs. Hi everybody, John Irwine alongside Antonio DiDamaso and Josh Berger for coverage here on SATV. And a big Week 4, not just in the WPIAL, but in the section, guys.
Yeah, great atmosphere here tonight. Beautiful, beautiful night here for a football game where Shaler takes on Plum. Shaler coming off a huge win last week at Hampton. Hopefully look to ride that wave here tonight.
On the opposite hand with Plum, they lost to Gateway last week, but at the end of the day, it doesn't matter because now this week is for both teams where the record starts at 0-0. Both teams now for section, and these are the games that are going to matter come playoff time for who makes the playoffs.
Absolutely, 0-0 is the way to look at it. No matter what your record is, 2-1, 0-3, 1-2, whatever it may be, up to this point, 0-0. Every game matters. It's a great point, Josh. Let's talk about the Titans, what they did last week, and how they come feeling into this week, Antonio.
Yeah, last week coming off of Hampton, as you mentioned before, bit of a weird game. Friday night was a game, got delayed into Saturday afternoon due to inclement weather, but able to still produce in the run game with the likes of Sammy Tapu and Donovan Ronell, and hopefully they look to continue that tonight.
And yeah, Antonio, as you said, the run game, it was almost like they didn't leave the field Friday night. The first play of the game Saturday, Tapu had a monster touchdown of 85 yards, but it's also important to note, as Antonio said, that Ronell, he also had a touchdown, and you can't forget that Rispoli and Aversa contributed with a touchdown of their own also.
Absolutely, the run game of the Titans last week looked great, probably at the highest peaking point it's been all season. But let's talk about they can't rely on it too much, Josh.
Yeah, I mean, the two quarterbacks that the Titans have been trying out this year, Max Wiley and Rispoli, the numbers for the two haven't been that great. Rispoli only has a total of 114 pass yards, and Wiley only has 85. So, John, it's important that if the run game doesn't get going tonight for the Titans, that they'll be okay knowing that hopefully they can get the passing game going tonight.
Absolutely. Let's talk about the other side of the field for the Titans. Let's talk about this defense. Last week, holding Hampton to 13 points, Antonio. How do they have to feel coming into this game tonight?
I mean, they have to feel great knowing they held Hampton to 13 points, able to stop the run, and basically Hampton had nothing on offense whatsoever. Maybe look for them to blitz, also try to get the pressure on the quarterbacks here tonight, try to get him under duress, and hopefully get nothing going for Plum tonight.
Absolutely, and let's talk about the Plum Mustangs coming in with an 0-3 record so far, losing to Franklin Regional, Greater Latrobe, and last week Gateway 22-15. But like you said, Josh, it is 0-0 as we stand right now in section play.
It is, John. Again, these games are what matter now for both teams in terms of playoffs. Again, it doesn't matter what happened in the past. It's a clear mindset, a whole new mindset, if anything, because now these are the ones that matter the most.
Yeah, and for Plum, I think the big thing is, guys, is that they have another dual threat situation between two quarterbacks. They have John Nonnenberg and TJ Fatules, but I think the big thing is, again, their run game with Nick Odom. He's been the big guy so far this year for the Plum Mustangs.
Yeah, John, he has. I mean, he's been the name that the offense has gone to a lot this year, so you can expect him to get his name called a lot tonight. I think the Titans are going to have to keep his name under their belt and make sure that he doesn't have too big of a game to the point where the defense can't control him and contain him.
Yeah, and Antonio, for the Plum Mustangs defense, what do they have to do to contain Shaler's run game and make them fall back on the passing like we talked about?
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the film for Plum, you're going to see 44 all over the field for Shaler. Try to get him, keep him under control because, you know, Shaler loves to run the ball. They run the ball the majority of the time. So if they can get the run game stopped for Shaler, maybe sack the box, maybe get couple yards each and every play, hopefully have Shaler air it out and try to look to turn it over.
And turn it over up into the booth for the rest of tonight's coverage of tonight's game. Join us up there.
We're the Shaler Area Cheerleaders and you're watching SATV.
And welcome back up in the booth for coverage of tonight's game. John Irwine, Antonio DiDamaso, and Josh Berger on the call. Week 4, we are about to get set and underway here in Plum Stadium, where the Titans come in to face the Mustangs. And guys, this is a big week. Josh, you've been talking about it a lot. This is that 0-0 week that all the teams have been gearing up for. And tonight is the real test for everybody in the WPIAL.
Yeah, John, again, this game now is when it matters in the record books. It's 0-0, so it's a whole new, almost like a whole new season for both of these teams here, John.
And as the Titans will take the field, Captains Yeckel, Rispoli, Ehrenberger, and Aversa. They'll meet at the 50 for the Titans. And for these Titans, this is a huge game. This is a game that you have to look at in the section, a section with the likes of Pine Richland, North Hills, Fox Chapel, Penn Hills, and Plum. You've got to look at this section and say that Plum has to be a win. And captains will take the field for both teams. They'll meet at the 50. They had their pregame meeting earlier. It'll be Darian Nelson, Nick Odom to the left for the Mustangs. Getting in the mix there, Dorian Anderson as well, and Benjamin Strickland. So those will be the guys out for the Mustangs. And for these two teams, Shaler has had the upper hand in the previous meetings. The 2022-23 season was the Luke Signetti 5-touchdown game, won WPIAL Week 2 Player of the Week, and last year, Titans handled business at home, beating the Mustangs. But again, new year, new look for both of these teams, especially the Titans. Let's get into that real quick. You see the numbers there. Number 1, that is not Keegan Schmatenka. Top 16 passer in the WPIAL last season, over 1,800 yards, a 65 completion rate percentage, and a bunch of touchdowns. Now for the quarterback of the Titans, it'll be Joe Rispoli mainly tonight, but Josh, what have we seen so far for this passing game of the Titans?
Well, John, the passing game for the Titans has not been very strong. They have relied heavily on the run game, especially last week with Sammy Tapu and Braylon Ronell. So it's going to be important that this run game can go swiftly tonight. Otherwise, the Titans might be tested, excuse me, with the pass game that they are.
And I think the thing about the pass game is too, it's been tested enough, like you said, to a point where it's not comfortable. I don't think it's really the worst thing in the world. Again, the completion percentages aren't that bad. The yards aren't the highest in the world, but they're not really making mistakes. No interceptions thrown, so far. I think one actually in Butler was from Rispoli. But again, not outside of that, not really any mistakes from the passing of the Titans. But we'll see as they will get the ball first here, as Olivia Bigger will get things underway here at Plum Stadium, as Rennell and Witkowski will be the men back for the Titans.
Bigger to kick off for the Mustangs. Back on the scene for Shaler, number 2, is
As it'll be a short kick, taken on a two-hopper by Rennell. And after a quick shifty move or two, he'll get across the 30, and that's where the Titans will start. Antonio, what do the Titans need to look for here right away to get things started and get started well?
Yeah, try to get the run early and often for Shaler. That's their MO. That's what their MO has been for the past 3 games here. Look to get that early and often for Shaler. Sammy Tapu, big rushing yardage last week, had ripped off an 85-yard touchdown. Also, Braylon Ronell for Shaler, able to get that done. 28 attempts for 108 yards so far in the season, a touchdown. So,
Rispoli not afraid to use his legs as well, scoring last week against Hampton. It'll be a quick throw, but high to Rennell. Rispoli knows he had that one and overthrew it, but for Rispoli's case, you can't really get any worse other than an interception from an incompletion, but you have to make those throws. Shaler in the white on blue, Plum in the all yellow with the purple helmets. Pretty slick. But Shaler now with a 2nd and 10, and it trips out to the right. It'll be a give to Tapu. His first carry, puts out a stiff arm, puts his head down, and spins around. It'll be a gain, looks of about 6 or 7, and that's the start you look for Sammy Tapu. So far in the year, 17 attempts, 182 yards, averaging 11 per carry.
Yeah, John, he, and as shown last week at Hampton, he has been a true force for this Titans offense. He is a big body, and it is a really big task to try to tackle him in the open field.
The box is absolutely loaded from the Mustangs. Tapu in the backfield to the right of Rispoli. There'll be a flag on the play. Looks like it'll be against Shaler. Rispoli tried to make him jump. Looks like it'll be against the Titans and going back some yards.
And John, going back to South Fayette too, that has been a big thing, a big problem rather for the Titans, especially early on in this game, especially that first quarter at South Fayette. So I'm sure that while Coach Ryan has addressed that a lot in practices, I'm sure that still not the best thing to start this game off in this drive for the Titans.
It'll be a fake to Tapu. Rispoli is going to scramble right, looking for something for Saban, and just deflected. It'll bring up 4th down. Just fell in front of TJ Fitules. Not able to get there. It'll bring up the punt squad, and Riley Douglas, the man so far for the Titans. He's done his job very well in the last couple of weeks for the Titans. We'll see if he does it again here.
Punting for Shaler, number 36, Riley Douglas.
It'll be a one-hopper. He's going to have to get it off. It'll be a squibbler to the right. He'll take a Shaler roll, though, and go just out of bounds, just about the 36-yard line. So not the greatest punt from Riley Douglas, but does the job and gets the Mustangs inside their own 40. And now for the Mustangs, a team that has lost their quarterback of the last couple of years, Sean Franzi. He was a big player in that Mustang system. He was 56% completion percentage, over 1,000 yards and 14 touchdowns. But a new name and a new man in the backfield for the Mustangs. He'll move a man in motion. It'll be a give out. It'll be to Brendan Marson. It's a flea flicker. Deep for Nelson, wide open. Caught at the 40-35 and tackled by Signetti inside the 20. And a great hot start for the Plum Mustangs.
Definitely a wild card right there. Honestly, quite a risky play for the Plum Mustangs to start the game, but definitely caught the Titans defense on their heels.
And you just wonder, after last week against Hampton, Hampton ran so many sweeps against the Titans with Willie Hasselrig that right there, that play just developed perfectly. And Odom will get the call, head of steam, wide open, touchdown, 2 plays, Plum Mustangs. What a start for the Plum Mustangs. Coming out in 2 plays, they go the distance. And you could not ask for a better start if you are Plum. We said Nick Odom was going to be a threat all night tonight, and he's done it in 2 plays. And so Bigger looking for the extra point. Again, this Plum team 0-3. Losses to Franklin Regional, Latrobe, and last week Gateway, but looking like a team that is coming out with a hot start and not 0-3. As they will now lead the Titans 7-0 with 10:04 remaining. Guys, I would say, what is there to look at to change? But there's only been under 10 plays in this game.
Yeah, John, I mean, again, a risky play by Plum to start the game, the very first possession, but I mean, it definitely was in the favor of them. It caught the Titans on their heels. So I'm sure now that Shaler knows that Plum has that in their back pocket, I'm sure Shaler will try to be a little bit smarter and more observant of how to cover the Plum offense now.
And that's got to just be a little bit of a, you don't want to hang your head there, but it's just a tough start. You get beat by the flea flicker, and then you give up that big run by Odom for the touchdown. But again, it's only been 2 minutes, and Josh, you've been saying it. You can't dwell on the past.
That's absolutely right, John. And it's now a whole new possession for the Titans. It's almost like that first possession didn't happen.
You're going to have to play down, but you're going to have to play with a lot of confidence and optimism. So Rennell's going to take it. The 15, he's going to look to his left, has some space in front of him, gets a block, spins, and a go across for the 40. And Rennell has been very good getting the Titans started for field position on kickoff and punt returns, and does it there.
Davon Rupert, along with
And we'll have to see if he is the running back for this drive. Tapu was the man last week. We're now scoring his own touchdown as a first half buzzer beater against the Talbots. He will be the man in the backfield. It'll be a give to Rennell. He'll get swamped by a Mustang. Not after a little bit of a gain there. It was Strickland on the tackle. Got 4 on the carry. And Antonio, at what point do you say here, down 7, do you think it's time to let the ball hit the air?
Yeah, if you're Shaler, I wouldn't be too worried to start the game. Obviously, defensively, bit of a rough start there. Plum gets you a trick play there to start the game. But I think for Shaler, keep running the ball. You're getting positive yardage. You're not getting stopped behind the line or gaining no yards, I should say. So maybe if they start to gain no yards, maybe start to air it out.
It'll be a reverse. Saban on the carry. He'll get the first and more. He'll go out of bounds. And that play has worked so well for the Titans. It's usually been a Versa on the reverse. But Saban gets the call there, does the job, and moves the chains.
Yeah, and kind of like the running back position, it shows that the Titans are not afraid to mix up the positions a little bit and throw some different guys in different places. Again, as Tapu and Ronnell have been the backs, that there was Saban instead of Aversa. So definitely some different looks for the Titans.
It'll be a Rispoli keeper up the middle, space in front. He'll get the first down again. And again, we said Rispoli rushing touchdown last week. He's had a good bit of rushing yards for the Titans so far this year, and not afraid to use his legs. Rispoli with 130 rushing yards so far this year, 3 touchdowns. So we'll maybe see more of that from this Titans offense. Tapu will get the call. Stays on his feet down the sideline, cuts inside, and dragged down around the 10-yard line. And Sammy Tapu doing it again, the sophomore, making things happen for the Titans. Anderson on the tackle. And if he doesn't get that one, you got to think Shaler's got 6 on the board.
Yeah, John, but again, Tapu, a big guy for being a sophomore, a huge body to try to bring down. So again, if he didn't get down there, definitely could have been 6 on the board for the Titans.
And we will have a pause and play. Last year stepped in as linebacker his freshman year. And it looks like the Titans jumped again. They will, and that's again just another unnecessary penalty to take at the 10-yard line. And it'll move it back to the 15. Still a first down. Signetti down to the near sideline. Glosser up to the top. It'll be a Rispoli keep. He'll put his head down and look up the middle. Looked like about a gain of 4. And right now I think you're just trying to chunk up some yards here. Saban and Signetti to the left of this O-line that's worked really well for the Titans so far this season. Rispoli's going to roll right in the end zone, and touchdown Titans. A floater in the air, but nonetheless a Titan touchdown.
Zach London right there, number 9. I heard in school that he was going to be used for the jump ball a lot of times in this Titans offense, and it was clearly shown right there as Rispoli found him in the back of the end zone, just jumping over the defenders.
And jump ball and London goes hand in hand. Obviously, the last couple of years, Brandon London was the tight end and linebacker for the Shaler Titans put up monster numbers, but that was his signature. Throw it up and let the London catch it. And Zach does it there. And Povich put the extra point through. It'll tie things up here at 7 with 7:28 remaining. And guys, man, I mean, it feels like every game now, it is not slow anymore. We are heating up quick.
Yeah, this is a fast start to the game here. Plum able to get a trick replay off of Shaler on their first play of the game, and then able to get a touchdown run there by Odom on the second play of their drive, and then Shaler bounces right back and gets a touchdown here. So you thought maybe Shaler might have been out of it there, maybe lost some momentum after that touchdown, kind of shocked them, but they came right back.
And that's got to feel good, especially after the offense didn't start so hot and the defense gave up that early touchdown. To get that one back, it's definitely a sign of fresh air and a sign for Jim Ryan and his Titans to say, hey, listen, we're okay. There's nothing to be worried about right now. Now Douglas will kick it off for the Titans. It'll be a short squibbler into the ground, taken at the 20-yard line. And just short of the 35-yard line, it was C.J. Hart, the sophomore. And so the Mustangs in 2 plays scored on their first offensive drive. That flea flicker from Darian Nelson, or excuse me, the catch by Darian Nelson from Brendan Marston. And then the Nick Odom touchdown on the run. So we'll have to see what Plum comes out here. And do you think maybe they go trickery again?
I think they've used that so far for at least for the first half. I don't think they'll use that again because I think Shaler is kind of prepared for any trickery from Plum. So maybe just look for standard run passes here.
And Nonnenberg will take the high snap. It'll be a give to Odom, but it'll get snuffed out right away. And the quarterback linebacker, Rispoli, gets to him. And Rispoli comes off that line like a rocket for the Titans. I mean, he reads the gap so well and stops Odom, such a downhill runner.
I mean, John, he did it a lot last week on Friday night before the lightning delay at Hampton. So, yeah, again, Rispoli definitely not afraid to do some of the dirty work on the defensive end either.
And you just got to love that. A guy who's willing to stay in there at quarterback, but when he gets to the defensive side, say, I'm going to hit people as hard as I can. Nonnenberg's going to look right. Saban was there on the initial tackle, but broken up. Completion to Marston. And so far, Nonnenberg, the sophomore, has looked pretty calm in that backfield for the Mustangs. And you kind of have to be at this stage in the season, especially as a sophomore. You got to sit in there and say, hey, listen, there's only so many games I have left. I can't be nervous at this point, especially in section play. Odom will be behind Nonnenberg a couple of yards with a 3rd and short. It's going to be the same throw to Marston, but flicked away. It was Yeko, I believe, who got a hand there, and it'll bring up a 4th down. And that's a huge play from Yeko and that Titans defense.
Yep, definitely, John. I mean, now as you're seeing here, Plum is now bringing on the punt team. So Shaler gets another chance now on offense to try to potentially take the lead here.
It'll be Witkowski, man for the punt return at about his 20-ish yard line, about the 22. And Futules with a man punting for the Plum Mustangs. Almost blocked by Peterson. Ball is rolling backwards. And Peterson would have got a hand on it. He almost ducked away from the ball. I mean, the pressure there, regardless from Peterson, got to Futules. And it'll be about a 15-yard punt, if that.
Yeah, definitely a great job by Peterson getting some pressure on the punter there. Again, it did look as if he kind of backed away, though, which is definitely a good thing, avoiding a flag there.
So the Titans now in Mustang territory. Rispoli's going to look right, high throw to Saban. Cuts back inside. And a bunch of Mustangs are going to bring him down. And Saban's going to have to be careful with that move. I don't know if you guys saw that for the viewers. I mean, he took that ball on the cut and raised it above his head in his right hand. Not a move usually taught when playing football. Nonetheless, it'll be a loss of 1 and a 2nd 11. And this young Titan squad looking to go 3-1. They've only had 1 section win, excuse me, 2 section wins in the last 2 years, 1 each season. Looking to make a change here. Saban's going to have to run the length of the field and get back to the line of scrimmage. Phenomenal job by the Mustangs to just break up the blocking of the Titans and get the job done and bring up a 3rd and long. So, Antonio, what do you expect the Titans to do here? 3rd and long. You could punt here.
Yeah, I look for Shaler here to still air it out. Maybe not try to be too risky downhill or downfield throw. Try to get a pick here, but maybe they can air it out far out. So in case there is a pick, Plum will be pinned down maybe to their 15, 20-yard line. And
Jim Ryan's going to call a timeout, talk things over. We are under 5 minutes in the first. This game always proves to be a chess match as the Titans take their first timeout. And again, what do you do here? Do you say to yourself, listen, if we don't get the first, we'll let our guys punt, try and pin it inside the 15-yard line? You just saw the defense do their thing. Or do you say, listen, our offense has the confidence, they have the wits among them to get this first down?
I would still punt it if it comes to 4th down here. Just the way the momentum has swung in Shaler's defensive favor.
On a 4th and short, let's say a 4th and 3 or under, do you think you see the field goal unit come out for the Titans?
That is a possibility. We did see during warm-ups when we were on the field here, Mark Povich, the kicker for Shaler, able to hit it from 55 with some distance still, maybe like 3-4 yards past the field goal. So that is a possibility, John.
It's been a back and forth windy night, none right now. Perspoli's going to step back, pressure comes, he's going to have to run. Ball popped out, and Mustangs fall on it. Rispoli got hit in the back. Nelson falls on it, but I believe it was Anderson who broke it up. He didn't see him behind him on his right side, and the Mustangs will take over. And that pocket just collapsed right away. Not usually what you see from this O-line of the Titans.
Yeah, definitely surprised Rispoli there, I'm sure. Definitely not the way that the Titans wanted that 3rd down to go. They were hopefully trying to pin Plum back maybe farther in their own territory. But the defense has played pretty well so far, aside from that those first 2 plays. So I still don't see a reason to panic just yet.
So Nonenberg in the shotgun, back in the helm. He's going to look left right away. Was looking for Nelson around the 50. Just a little bit of miscommunication there. I'll bring up a 2nd and 10. And a couple of guys on this team have just been playing so long on this varsity level for the Mustangs. Guys like Nelson, guys like Odom, Fitules, that they have been the guys so far this season that they have looked towards to say, listen, you guys have had all the experience on varsity. We need you to lead us into a winning season, or at least get us in a shot at playoffs. This will be a give to Odom up the left. He'll cut back inside, and Rispoli's going to get all over him just across the 45-yard line, bring up a 3rd and long. I think it'll be about a 3rd and 6 or 7. Depending on the spot, they'll move it just inside the 45. It'll be a 3rd and 7. We have yet to see Odom really go up the middle and hit the holes in between his own linemen. He's really bounced outside. We'll see if he gets the call here. The Titans jump, and just Nonenberg with that quick clap got him to jump, and another unnecessary penalty again, guys.
Yeah, and if you're Shaler here, especially with the momentum they have on defense rolling, you don't want to give Plum any free yards here, especially a 3rd and short now.
So it'll be a 3rd and short now, and you've got to assume Odom gets the call here, unless the Mustangs have something else up their sleeve. It'll be Marson at the near side, covered by Saban in his zone. And Rispoli right away gets to Odom, brings up the 4th down, and he is a machine right now for the Titans.
Yeah, as I said earlier, week 1, I think Joe Rispoli just goes by one word, and that is go. He doesn't really ever have to have a slow down button. I don't really think he believes in that word, John. I just think that he just goes and does all the dirty work for the Titans, and that really shows the leadership and dedication that Joey Rispoli has in this for this Titans team here.
And now a different punter in for the Mustangs. It'll actually take a plum roll inside the 25. That's a huge punt from Terrence Montu, the O lineman.
Yeah, especially considering that first punt going only 15 yards. If you're Plum now, I think you have a little bit more of some reassurance here, knowing that Shaler's pinned a little farther back down in their own territory.
It'll be pinned at the 22. And you said earlier, Josh, Rispoli, he's got one word, it's go. It almost feels like he's almost got 2 different playing styles. When he's a quarterback, he's calm, he's cool, he's collected. He does what he needs to do, but when he's a linebacker, it's like Jekyll and Hyde. He's a monster out there.
Yeah.
And another bobbled snap, and Plum falls on it again. And so Rispoli just said he was calm, cool, and collected, but on the give to Tapu, bobbles the snap, and that's just got to be a head-scratcher for the Titans. You've had 2 fumbles now, a bunch of penalties, and you're playing probably one of the sloppiest starts to a game you've had so far this season.
Yeah, John, it's just really unfortunate for the Titans now. The last 2 possessions that the Titans have had, they have been unable to convert much. So, again, the Titans here are going to be asking a big favor from the defense here, hoping that they can prevent Plum from putting any points on the board.
It was a twin-man set. Nonenberg's going to look across the field. Incomplete. Marson took a shot, but a flag on the play, and Cignetti can't believe it. And obviously Shaler not happy with the call. There's going to be a discussion about the play. Marson got blown up on the play. It looked like Cignetti was in there on time trying to make a play for the interception to break it up.
Yeah, and it also looked at the Plum quarterback here, TJ Fatules, led him into Cignetti.
Yeah, you got to think here. I mean, after this meeting, it didn't look like he was late or early. It looked like he was pretty well timed there. And obviously, Jim Ryan going to question it. Referees tell him to move aside, and Marston's down. Took a huge shot. And it will be against the Titans. And just a tough penalty to take. And we will go to an injury timeout while Marson gets checked up on. And Marston will be able to walk off the field guided by the medical staff of the Mustangs. And it's good to see that he's up and walking. Those type of shots are not really what you want to see, but a penalty against the Titans nonetheless. And now the Mustangs within scoring distance at around the 9-yard line. 3:16 remaining in the first, and an eventful first it has been. And the tension's starting to rise between the 2 teams here. We'll see how the Mustangs deal with this now. As Nonenberg will give it to her. Ball pops out. Odom will fall on it.
But
man, this ball is slippery right now.
Yeah, but John, guess who was in the backfield right there applying pressure? Number 2. We've said his name already so far tonight, Joe Rispoli.
And it looked almost like a read option, and Nonenberg just held on just a half second, I think, longer than he needed to on the give to Odom.
And I think that's also because he was pressured by Joe Rispoli. He needed to make a quick decision.
Yeah, what can you do there? Take the shot from Rispoli or give it to Odom and let it make sure he gets maybe some yards, but it'll be a loss of 6 and a 2nd and 16 for the Mustangs. They move a man in motion. It'll be a pitch sweep. The Titans close it off, but now cuts back inside, still on his feet and dragged down by Tapu. The shifty moves of Sloan Humphreys, but not enough to bring up a touchdown. The Titans closed that off really well, but just were not able to get a hand on Humphreys.
Yeah, that was a touchdown saving tackle there by Sammy Tapu. As you mentioned, Humphreys there, very shifty, very agile, able to cut back multiple times there. Should have been a touchdown there.
They'll bring up a 3rd and 8. Again, within field goal distance, we saw the kicker for the Mustangs, Bigger, kicking from about the 20 earlier and putting them through. But we'll see here. A high snap. It'll be a give to Odom. And in for his second touchdown on the night. Nick Odom. He has been the man so far for the Mustangs. And they give him the call again, and he'll answer it. Again, a wacky and weird back and forth battle between the Titans and the Mustangs right now, but the Mustangs prevailing. And so Bigger looking to put the PAT through and go up 7 over the Titans. Kick will be good, and the Mustangs will lead 14-7 over the Titans with 1:46 remaining. Antonio and Josh, we need to sit down and talk about this game right now because this went from a chess match to a roller coaster real quick.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the Titans have had a few costly penalties so far to start the game. And I'm sure Coach Jim Ryan has voiced his concerns with his team, but unfortunately those are in the past now, and they just need to learn from them, move on, and they need to keep playing this game of football and play the way they know how to play it.
Yeah. Sorry, Antonio, go right ahead.
Yeah, I mean, Jim Ryan, Coach Ryan, I should say, probably telling the players on the sideline here, look, guys, it has been a very sloppy first quarter. A lot of fumbles here, but you're still in this. You're only down by 1 touchdown here. It's only a 14-7 game.
Yeah, you got to think, Coach Ryan is saying to his team as we head into the second quarter here very soon, listen, like, it has been a back and forth game, but you have given them a ton of opportunities, from the flea flicker to the 2 fumbles to the unnecessary penalties. I mean, the whole board. And Wilkowski's going to take it just inside his 20. He'll cut back the other way. And he'll get dragged down by a bunch of Mustangs. Just inside the 25-yard line. And so the Titans looking to clean it up here, as Max Wiley will head into the game for the Titans. And Josh, we talked about in pregame the 2 quarterbacks of Rispoli and Wiley that have seen the snaps. Wiley has seen significantly less snaps, but he'll be the man in, replacing Rispoli, hoping to clean things up.
Yeah, I mean,
it'll be a give to Tapu. Hole opens up. It'll be a good gain, about 2 yards short. Go ahead, Josh.
I mean, yeah, sorry, should have known better not to speak right as the play was going on. But, I mean, Max Wiley has not had that much experience so far this year, taking snaps. He only, right now, has, he's only 6 for 14 with a completion percentage of 43%, while he does have 1 throwing touchdown for the Titans. Definitely something to keep an eye on.
And at this point, you just got to ask for him to clean it up. Rennell will get the call. Looks like he got back to the line. It'll be a 3rd and short. Clock will roll under a minute here. And again, you just got to ask Wiley, if you're Coach Lazovic of the Titans, say, listen, we're only down 1, and we've done our thing other than a bunch of mistakes. What you've needed to do, you've done. And we need you to go in there and be the man on offense. Tapu will get the call, looking for the first. He'll get it, and he'll get across the 40. And Tapu has looked really good so far in this game, as much as he did at Hampton last week. But you got to manage him right, especially if he's playing linebacker on the opposite side. This defense of the Titans has been on the field a lot longer than the offense has. And they'll let the clock run. It'll just run out. We will end things here in the first quarter as the Plum Mustangs lead the Shaler Area Titans 14-7. Join us back here for second quarter coverage of tonight's game here on SATV.
SATV.
And welcome back to second quarter coverage of tonight's game here at Plum Stadium. The Mustangs leading the Titans 14-7, and after an eventful first quarter, it's hard to say that was only the first quarter of play. But the Titans, after flipping the side of the field, will be at their own 41-yard line, looking to tie things up here on this drive. Wiley's still the man in the backfield for the Titans. Be a reverse to Sabin. Spins and bounces off of London. Got back to the line of scrimmage, though. And again, Wiley has yet to throw the ball here. But worry no more, as Rispoli will check back into the game. And you got to think, after a decent breather and maybe just some calming moments from the coaching staff of the Titans, just to tell Rispoli, listen, mistakes are mistakes. We just need you to clean it up. We don't need you to do anything out of the ordinary. We just need you to keep it simple. And he'll keep it. And he'll gain just a couple. And this Titans offense has been, apart from the touchdown, a very up and down team so far. It'll bring up a 3rd and 8. What do you expect the Titans to throw at the Mustangs here, Antonio?
I'm maybe looking here for definitely a pass play. I mean, this is 3rd and 8 here for Shaler. Maybe look for Aaron DeVersi. He's been a major target here for Shaler over the past couple games. I believe he's been targeted about 8 times, caught for 40 yards, so he looks to be the man. But it looks like Plum just jumped off sides, too.
They do jump off sides. It's a huge penalty to give up from Darian Slaughter. And that's a big one. It went from a 3rd and long to a 3rd and manageable now for the Titans.
Now you maybe look for a handoff to Sammy Tapu here, because we know he's been able to get it done so far for Shaler.
And we'll see who gets the call here, as London will check in. Caught the touchdown pass earlier for the Titans. And the Titans now on a 3rd and 3, looking to get momentum back and even things up here. Tapu will get it up the left side, but he'll get tackled, and he only got a yard. He'll be short, and the Mustangs get there right away and stop him and bring up a 4th down. Trent Reese was on the tackle. And now this is the question. What do you do here? You're inside your own half. Wiley will check in. Conrad will check in. And this might be the tush push.
I think, yeah, our mini tush push.
And this is the first time we've seen it so far tonight. Not the first time we've seen it this season. You'll see Wiley, the man, at quarterback. He'll be under center. It'll be Conrad to the right, Tapu to the left, Rispoli deep in the backfield. Tapu will get it. We'll see where the spot is. It looked like he got it. They are going to move the chains. Tapu on that last-ditch dive across, just leaned backwards, got the first down. And while it is a first down, the Titans got to, calm it down a little bit, because that was a scary one if they don't get that.
Yeah, and also for Shaler, you need to start airing it out a little bit more. I know they're doing these wide receiver screens, but they need more passes downfield, because Plum's going to stack the box.
And Tapu's tush push run gets snuffed out right away, back to the line of scrimmage, maybe a loss of 1. I believe it was a loss of 1. It'll be a 2nd and 11. Versa and Sabin will check in for Conrad and Wiley, and Rispoli will be the man back at quarterback. And again, you've been saying air it out, Antonio, and you just got to think at some point, when do the Titans feel the need to do it? The run has been good so far, but this secondary has not been tested of Plum.
Yeah, and they definitely need to be tested, because they need to be disciplined with their eyes. If they continuously see runs constantly, they're just going to try to stack the box. And then a false start there by Shaler.
And again, another penalty. And the Titans just cannot clean it up right now. Every time they make momentum, every time they make a push, they're moving back another 5 or 10 yards. And so clock's going to roll. Rispoli gets the call from Coach Ryan. So a 2nd and 16 now for the Titans. Aversa in the single man down on the Titans sideline. Rispoli feeling the pressure, has to dump it off to London. Now has space in front of him, and London does a very good job to get a whole bunch of yards back for the Titans and bring up a 3rd and manageable.
Yeah, London, like Tapu, is a big body to try to bring down in the open space. So it is reassuring for the Titans to know that aside from Sammy Tapu, there is also number 9, Zach London, as a potential target, big target rather, for this Titans offense to get a spark.
So 3rd and 4 for the Titans. Rispoli will roll, has to throw it away, picked off by the Mustangs, getting chased down. O'Brien on the chase, Ehrenberger on the chase, and brought down inside the 15, and Rispoli, another mistake. It was Slaughter, I believe. He had gotten in there on the play before and brought the pressure, brought it again, and Rispoli, instead of taking the sack, throws it away short.
Mustangs take over first.
And now the Mustangs are pinned in scoring position again.
Yeah, and if you're Rispoli right there in that case, it's just easier to take the sack there, I think. There's no point in trying to have a threat, have a risk there, excuse me, as it was just shown there. So definitely a costly mistake there by the Titans.
Yeah, Rispoli has to clean it up. We haven't seen him do this all season. 2 fumbles and an interception now. Nonenberg will look right, now scrambling, has to go left. Getting chased down. Gets a huge block. It'll be a flag on the play. And that'll be on Slaughter. Arguing his case against, arguing his case for what he thought was not a peel back block. He thought he was within the play. But after a short discussion, it looks like it'll hold. And Slaughter's just been hitting people left and right so far tonight. Just too much, a little right there, he'll get called. And again, just a close one. If he's, within 2 yards more of Nonenberg on the run, that might not go against him.
Yeah, John, definitely a break there for the Titans. But if you're Plum there too, definitely not the play that you wanted there. So we'll see now what Plum can do.
It'll be a give to Odom. He finds the gap up the middle. Conrad with the initial tackle, and Odom, he has blistering speed right now. He takes the first couple of yards to find the gap, and then from there, he is a 100-meter track star. He has looked good so far, and if not good, he has looked great. He'll bring up a 2nd and 20. 2 touchdowns under his belt so far. So now the Mustangs, with about half of the second quarter remaining, looking to go up 2 scores. Odom will keep it. He bobbled it but kept it in his elbow. And a bunch of Titans will bring him down.
Brought down by Rispoli.
And so it'll bring up a 3rd and a bit for the Mustangs.
But once again for the Titans, back there to make the stop was number 2, Joe Rispoli. So while it hasn't been his best offensive game, he's definitely been a factor on the defensive end for the Titans here.
3rd and 13 in front of the Mustangs, looking to punch it in for another 6. And capitalizing on these Shaler mistakes. Nonenberg, he looked left before the snap. He'll get pressured. Has to get it off. He does. To Signor. It will not be a first down. Titans can't believe there wasn't a holding initially. We'll see what squad stays on the field, if it'll be the offense. And you got to think here with the Titans, if the Mustangs don't convert, the Titans are pinned really deep in their own zone. It will be the field goal unit. It'll be bigger. Has looked good so far on the kickoffs and the PATs. And we will see if she can put this one through. They will stop it. Referees were not in set position for the field goal. And we will now officially get to see the field goal attempt. It'll be about a 22-yarder. Good snap, good hold. And kick is blocked and deflected. It'll bounce into Shaler's end zone. And so no points, and that's a big one.
It definitely is, John. Again, the Titans defense there is bailing out the offense right now. Definitely are congratulating the Titans defense right there if you're the offense right now, as it looks like number 4, Max Wiley, is going to be back out there now for the Titans.
And again, you got to think, you didn't get the field goal if you're Plum, but the Titans are pinned inside their own 15-yard line, and they haven't had much production as of recent, and you've been getting to the quarterback where they're making mistakes. And, I mean, you see Slaughter, number 51. I mean, he looks like he is ready to go again at Max Wiley. And you would presume he does get double-teamed. Conrad looks like the man just right on that sideline. Rennell will get the call. It'll be a flag on the play, late flag. We'll see what it's on. And if it's against the Titans, I mean, what more can you do? Yellow has been a nightmare, whether it's the Flags or the Mustangs. Yellow is not your friend right now. And it was against the Titans. And it was a sideline warning. And so now the sideline not being that much of a help. It was just a warning. Won't be any yardage. Rispoli's going to look across for Aversa. He gets the first down and more. So the first pass from Max Wiley to Aaron Aversa will end up in a first down. And Antonio, you got to think, you've been saying it this whole night so far. Air it out. Let the guys really do what they do best in the receiving core. And he does it right there.
Yeah, hopefully starting to air it out opens up the middle of the field here for Shaler, because just constant running the ball is going to basically keep Plum's eyes in the backfield. So if you're able to create some confusion there for Plum, air it out downfield, hopefully they can get some chunk plays here.
Yeah, Plum's deepest player, Fatulez, is only 12 yards from the line of scrimmage. Rennell will carry it. Dives across for a gain of about 6. And so the Titans now, with under 4.5 remaining, can burn up a lot of clock here, leave the Mustangs with not a lot of time to do anything. And if you can go into halftime, if you're the Titans, with this score tied, you're not really happy with how this game is, but you're at least not in a hole that you can't dig out of.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, John, especially considering how sloppy this first half, has been for the Titans.
And Rennell will get tackled right away. Maybe got a gain of 1. Sheffo on the tackle for the Mustangs. And so another third down. And third downs have not been kindly to the Titans. Rispoli's fumble earlier and his interception. And Josh, you said it. He's been the man so far on defense that's been making a lot of big plays and has just been running all over the field, where if Wiley can just do this right and keep it clean and simple, Rispoli can focus on defense.
Absolutely.
Plum shows blitz. It'll be a quick throw out. Saban's going to get the first.
Wiley's pass complete to number 6.
Chains will move. And again, that's big from the Titans. I mean, you have to ask just for the chains to move. You don't need 25, 30-yard throws. You don't need a touchdown right away. You have a lot of time to work with here as we get under 3 minutes.
Yeah, and John, especially with the third down struggles that the Titans have had this game so far, it's definitely a good thing to see the Titans being able to convert on a third down and move the chains.
Mustangs defense has been holding very well, causing 3 turnovers so far tonight. Wiley will step back deep, look across the middle of the field. London will take a shot. Got about a yard. So Wiley not really testing outside of the numbers yet, keeping it in the middle of the field. But that's got to be scary. Wiley has held his own so far. Tapu will sub out, Rennell will check in. Have not seen Tapu really get any runs as of recent. So we are under 2 minutes. It'll be a reverse to Aversa, cuts inside, but a great wrap-up tackle. That's a phenomenal job. That is exactly what you need from Sheffo. Just gets his arms around the legs and stop Aversa. And Aversa breaks out there. You got to think he makes this a 3rd and manageable. But stops him and makes it a 3rd and 9. Antonio, I'm going to keep saying it with you. Does the air it out play come now?
For sure. This is definitely a passing play here for Shaler. Maybe look for a slant here for Aversa across the middle of the field. Maybe just try to get into field goal yards for Povich.
Slaughter dumps it. Excuse me, Slaughter got in there, got to Wiley, and Wiley just dumped it again across the 50. It'll be an incomplete pass. And the right side of the Titans has just been pretty much non-existent so far on 3rd and 4th down. Slaughter and the rest of that D-line have just been absolutely blowing past the blocking.
Yeah, they had their way so far. Plum has on the offensive line here for Shaler. And you cannot, hopefully that's a vocal point here going to the locker room for Shaler.
So Douglas's punt, it'll be a little bit of a duck in the air, but it'll be pinned inside just around the 24-23 yard line. And so the Mustangs will take over with 1 minute and 17 seconds remaining, about 1 minute and 16. And if the Titans get out of this half, which has been a pretty poor half, only down a score, again, you are not happy whatsoever if you're Coach Jim Ryan or the coaching staff or the players if you're the Titans. Nobody can be happy if you're the Titans. You just can't be.
Yeah, especially with all the, just sloppy. That's basically been the first half here for Shaler. It's just sloppy, all the turnovers. But as you said, John, going into the half down 14-7, if that is the case, you are still pretty optimistic.
For the Mustangs, you have to be extremely pleased with how your team has played the game so far tonight and your plan. This Nonenberg, he'll scramble left. Conrad gets to him. And a great job by Conrad to bring down Nonenberg. Plum will go hurry up. And again, the plan so far tonight was to stop the run of the Titans. No passing, not a threat to worry about, and they've done so well so far tonight. Nonenberg looking again, has to scramble, has nothing. Nelson looked for him. And what a catch. Nelson. I mean, he got his foot in and saves the play. So 48 seconds remaining. It stops the clock. And the Mustangs now with the reset of downs. Titans' initial blitz was shown. Nelson across the field, and Witkowski, a great breakup. That's a great job by Witkowski. Doesn't go for the catch, just gets his hand in there and knocks it away. That would have been a big gain if that gets to Nelson, guys.
John, definitely, he did a great job of trying to avoid the receiver there, too, and not have to worry about a potential penalty, as there was one earlier in the game with Signetti. So that's definitely a break for the Titans.
And Signetti right now is deep in the secondary, inside the 45 of Shaler. Obviously playing it safe. Shaler will take a timeout. It'll be their second.
Timeout, Shaler.
And just talk things over. 44 seconds remaining. Plum still inside their own half. And Antonio, the defense has done its job so far, apart from 2 touchdowns. I mean, they have been on the field a majority of this game, and it has been not close considering how long the offense has been out there. This defense has to lock in for 45 seconds.
Yeah, and I mean, they've been pretty locked in so far for this first half. And going into the locker room, I think if you're Shaler, you gotta start to have slow, methodical drives here coming into the third quarter. Every single drive they've had so far, it's been pretty quick. and they've had the defense get on the field for as you said, John, a very long time, and they just exert a lot of energy, and you can't have that, especially whenever you have your quarterback Joe Rispoli playing both sides of the ball and Sammy Tapu playing both sides of the ball.
Yeah, and that's a great point, Antonio. The slow, methodical drives, that has been kind of a theme of this offense for the last couple of years, was to really just use the clock. No need to go downfield and score, within 2 or 3 minutes. But last week, maybe it was just a different look for the Titans where they scored so much so quickly against Hampton that they decided maybe the quick pace of play is what they need. It'll be something that Coach Ryan and his team will look into as we go into halftime. And Odom will spin out of the initial tackle by O'Brien, put his head down.
Odom on the carry.
And Plum will take another timeout, stop the clock with about 39 seconds remaining. And Odom doing a very good job there of breaking initial tackles. O'Brien got a hand there, just too low. Almost went around the ankle area. And Josh with a 3rd and 4. What does Plum look for here? Do you think you go for an out towards the sideline like they started with Marston, even though he's not in? Or do you give Nelson a high ball and let him jump for it like he did earlier?
Honestly, John, I disagree with both. I think they just continue to go with Odom. Honestly, he's been the driving factor of this offense so far. The Titans defense has not really had a answer to stop him. So I think that in order for Plum to try to keep this drive going, they go to number 36.
And 36 with 2 touchdowns under his belt already so far in this game, the only 2 from the Mustangs. As they move Nelson in motion, he'll step inside to the slot. Nonenberg will look to the sideline for Signor. He'll get the first down. He'll stay in bounds. Rispoli will bring him down, and he'll get across the 50, and the clock will keep rolling. Or excuse me, the clock will stop because of a fresh set of downs until the ball is set. Now it rolls under 30. And they will go for a play here. Nonenberg looks left, looks deep. And Witkowski on the coverage breaks it up. Nonenberg was looking for Rodersheimer. It just went through his hands, bounced off his helmet, and it'll be an incomplete pass. And 18 seconds now for the Mustangs. I'm surprised they didn't stop the clock there.
Well, honestly, John, I'm not opposed to that play. I mean, they had the time to take a shot downfield. So if you're Plum right there, I mean, you can't really be too upset with that. I mean, obviously you would have wanted to convert, but you can't really have any major complaints of that play, I don't think.
Nonenberg again finds Nelson. He'll stay in bounds, take a shot from Rispoli.
Nonenberg's pass complete to number 5.
Clock will stop. And Plum takes their last timeout, and that's a huge play there from the Mustangs. That didn't just put you within range of a field goal. This is a scoring opportunity for 6.
Yeah, we've seen Nick Odom here able to run off a decent amount of yards here for Plum, but also quarterback here for Plum able to air it out. He has shown that he can air it out very far, as the last play it was broken up there by Witkowski. But as you said, John, they are in scoring range here.
Yeah, this may not just end up being a 3-point situation. This can be 6. There's 10 seconds remaining. You'd assume that you maybe get off 2 plays. As long as the first one gets out of bounds, you should be able to run a second one. It'll be a single set backfield. Excuse me, empty backfield for Nonenberg. He's the only man back there with a 5-receiver set. Nonenberg looking left. Pressure coming. Yeckel gets a hand on him. Not able to escape. Or does escape. Now Nonenberg gets the pass to the 10-yard line. It was Signor. 2.6 seconds remaining. Clock will roll, and they will spike it. It looks like there's a flag on the field, unless it's a Plum glove. It was a Plum glove. The yellow's really throwing me off, guys. Sorry.
It's all right, John. I mean, there's nothing much. It's not really your fault.
Just seen a lot of yellow tonight. It's been a lot.
John, there has been, yes. I mean, Plum wearing the yellow uniforms and the purple helmets, and then the yellow flag, obviously there will definitely be some confusion, especially from the distance where we're at. So honestly, I don't really think that there's much to be at fault for.
And so now no penalty and 0.6 seconds remaining on the clock.
And they keep the offense on here too.
I mean, why not go for it? It will be a second. And why not? If you don't score, you get the ball at the start of the second half.
And Shaler did block the last field goal attempt Plum had.
Go for the 6. You got to think more of a jump ball here unless one of the Mustangs receivers breaks out. Shaler will take their last timeout, talk things over. This is a very, very tight 1 second. I mean, this is the most suspenseful 1 second I think we've had all game. I mean, genuinely, this can decide how the rest of this game can go. If Plum goes up 2 scores here, getting the ball back at the start of the second.
All that momentum they got going into the half.
They have all of it.
Yep.
If Shaler gets away with a stop and they go down a score after playing the poorest half they've played so far this season in terms of their own mistakes, again, Shaler cannot be happy, but
they also can't be disappointed, really.
Yes,
I mean,
with
how bad they've been playing, they are still pretty. The Shaler fans are probably lucky and happy that they're still in a game here, only being down 1 score as of right now.
You can't be happy about it, and you can't really be disappointed. You're in this weird middle ground where you're not playing a great game, but you're not losing the game by a ton. As Bigger will come out for the field goal, but Futules, we've seen him throw a little bit so far this season for the Mustangs. Maybe a fake. We saw the first play was a flea flicker. It's a safety PAT for the Titans defense. Bigger's kick will be up, and it will be good. The Mustangs will take the lead by 10 over the Titans. They will lead 17-7 as we head into halftime. Join us back up in the booth for coverage of tonight's game after halftime.
This is Shaler Area Slow Pitch Softball, and you're watching SATV. Yeah!
Ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, welcome to tonight's main event, the Shaler Area Titan Marching Band performing The Greatest Showman. Then brace yourself for an explosion of sound and energy with a powerful and uplifting song from now on. This is us, the Shaler Area Marching Band.
And welcome back for second half coverage of tonight's game as we are getting ready to start the third quarter here at Plum Stadium, where the Shaler Area Titans are losing to the Plum Mustangs 17-7. John Irwine and Tony DiDamasso and Josh Berger again on the call. We hope you enjoyed the halftime performances from the Shaler band. And Antonio, as we are going to get things underway, we'll go with the Shaler defense. I'll start with the Plum offense, actually. They have looked phenomenal. I mean, they have done the job they needed to do. Nonenberg has looked phenomenal back there, the sophomore, cool, calm, and collected. Nick Odom has been a monster in the backfield, and Darian Nelson has been going above guys to catch balls. I mean, what more can the Plum offense do to, you know, only be up a score over the Titans? As Nelson will let this one go through. And I'll say it again, what do the Mustangs have to do is we have scuffles after the play, and it'll be on the Titans, I believe.
It went through the end zone, but we got multiple flags.
And it'll be on the Titans, I believe. We will see what the official call is. There's a ton of grabbing after the play. I believe it was Isaac McKay. And the referee's still discussing, making sure this is the right call. Again, I said earlier at the end of the half, Josh, the yellow has not been a friend of the Titans.
John, it definitely hasn't been. Again, both the officials and the opposing team. So I definitely don't think that the Shaler wanted to see that very first play of the second half. Excuse me. So.
And that penalty will bring it forward 15 yards. And Antonio, what does the Titans defense have to do to lock in here after they were on the field for almost double the time than the offense was?
Yeah, I don't think they played that bad of a first half here, John. You can contribute basically the field position and the points here for the Plum Mustangs due to the turnovers caused by Joe Rispoli. 2 fumbles and 1 interception, which put the Plum Mustangs in great field position on Shaler's half of the field.
It'll be a quick out to Nelson, and Rispoli with an awesome wrap-up tackle. That is a phenomenal tackle. Nelson would have had space to break away there on the quick spin, and Rispoli just gets both hands in there and wraps him up for a loss. And Rispoli, what he hasn't really done on offense so far, he's made up for it on defense. And you've said it, Josh. He's Go. Go might be his middle name.
It honestly
might be
be
Joe Go Rispoli. I mean, there's a chance.
And hey, it even rhymes too. So hey, you never know.
We'll have to ask him after the game and make sure. But for now, it'll bring up a 2nd and deep as Odom will get the call up the left side. He's got a lot of space in front of him, and Odom with the first down. He is as quick as lightning. I mean, this kid right now he's been on the varsity level for the last 3 years, and in his senior year, it looks, again, he just gets better and better each year. And you can't teach that type of running.
No, you can't. I mean, you just got to tell him to put his head down and get the yards that he needs to, and he definitely has done that for this Mustangs offense.
Yeah, he just finds the open space and goes. There's not much else you can tell him to do, as he'll get it again, and Rispoli will get there initially, but he bounces off with a spin, and Odom on 2 plays and 2 carries moves the chains 2 times in a row, and the Mustangs are on a roll here to start this second half.
And John, as you just said, the 3 years experience for Odom, that play right there was a prime example. Again, he was able to break away from the original tackle from Joe Rispoli. That just shows that he's calm and collected as he feels where the defense is giving him in terms of where to go with the ball.
Shaler's D-line struggling to fill the gaps as Rispoli comes in on a blitz right away. Nonenberg's going to have to scramble, and he'll just dump it out. Shaler wanting a flag for grounding. He won't get it. But Rispoli on the blitz, I mean, he picked up Odom right away, but Nonenberg he took the carry, but, I mean, if he doesn't hold on to that ball and he gives it to Odom gets blown up.
Oh, for 100% there, John. I mean, it's not even a question.
Nonenberg has kept the Mustangs on a roll here. The Titans jump. Conrad on the near side. Penalties, penalties, penalties. I mean, the refs almost just have to keep it in their hand at this point. And you got to assume when the Titans went into their locker room at halftime, Antonio, you know, mistakes was number 1 and penalties was number 2.
Yeah, all these ill-advised penalties here for Shaler starting to rack up, and you cannot have that, especially when you have a Plum offense that's just clicking on all cylinders.
Ehrenberger almost jumped across again, got back. Nonenberg calls the audible that he gets. Gives a head nod to Nelson. Might see him get the call. Shaler in a deep zone. Odom will get it up the seam. Now cuts back inside and tripped up. Another first down. A Plum team that is 0-3 on the season. Looking for their first win so far, especially in section play. And as of right now, they're on a course to make it happen. And Nick Odom is not the only one doing it, but he's doing it phenomenally.
Yeah, and you can also attribute that to the offensive line here for Plum, able to get him the gaps there.
Yeah, again, for every great running back, there's 5 guys in the trenches winning that battle. As it'll be a reverse. He'll bounce outside. And he'll get a good gain. It was Sloan Humphreys on the take. Got about 2 on the play. We'll get 3. And somebody's shaken up on the Plum sideline. Medical staff will take a look at him, but play will resume since he's off the field. And Plum, if I could say in a quotation of how this team is playing, it is fearless. I mean, this team has looked at the Titans and looked them in the eyes and said, "You've had us the last 2 years, not this time." Sorry, Josh. Nonenberg is going to look left. He'll have to dump it out. Takes a shot from Rispoli. Go ahead, Josh.
Yeah, it looks as if it's like Plum hasn't really lost any momentum coming out of halftime. Again, that 20-minute break, it can have either positive or negative impacts for teams in terms of momentum shifts, but it clearly has not affected the Plum Mustangs offense at all, as they are clicking on all cylinders and knocking on the front door of the Shaler Titans end zone.
Yeah, it looks like Plum's offense, they haven't they haven't taken their foot off the gas.
Absolutely, and that's what you got to do if you're the Mustangs. You have to keep it rolling. Odom will get it. And after a second effort, he'll get the first. I mean, Odom right now is breaking tackles. He's running as fast as he can.
And then he's breaking more tackles.
And he's breaking more. I mean, he is doing everything right. There's nothing more you can ask of Odom.
Sorry to cut you off there, John.
No, I mean, if you're going to say something good about Nick Odom, I'm going to let you say it because he has looked phenomenal tonight. And so now 8:45 remaining in the third, and the door that the Mustangs are knocking on looks like it's about to be opened. Rispoli will pick up Nonenberg, but it was a give to Odom. He got it off.
Odom on a carry, brought down by number 8, Conrad.
See where the spot is. Conrad with the tackle on Odom. And the connection right now that the Mustangs have, everybody's clicking on all cylinders, everybody's doing their job, from the guys on the line, from the guys out wide, everybody's blocking, everybody's picking up guys on the defensive side of the ball. Everything's working, and that's how you get to the 17-7 score you have right now. Perfect snap. Odom will take it. Bounces up left side. Cuts back inside. He'll be short by a couple of yards.
Brought down by Rispoli, along with number 24, Rennell.
So it'll bring up a 3rd and 2nd at the 2. And you got to assume, Antonio, this is the punch-in.
Yep, this is Odom yet again. I mean, he's been the guy for Plum. I'm sorry.
And he has been the guy for Plum. As we're going to go into a little tush push for the Plum Mustangs. It'll be a give, not to Odom. I believe it was to Hart. It was, but he'll be stopped short. Bring up a 4th down. And we'll see what the Mustangs decide to do. I mean, you got to go for the score here. I mean, if you don't score, the Titans are pinned in their 2-yard line.
Yeah, if you're Plum here, you just want to keep pouring it on here for Shaler. I do expect here to give the ball to Odom. He has the hot hand. He's been the one that has gone the carries so far this drive, and it doesn't seem like Shaler is able to stop him.
I would love to see him just fly over the line.
Oh,
I know that's not a usual play, but
that'd be the cherry on top.
He gets it. No, Nonenberg keeps, dumps it out, and batted away. Flag on the play, though. Titans can't believe it.
Broken up, but they have a flag on the play.
And we'll see what it's on. It was thrown in the end zone. Could be a pass interference. Rispoli shaken up after a play coming off the sideline. The Titans cannot believe the flag that has been thrown. I mean, this will be a reset, a 1st down inside the 2. We'll see. I believe it was Saban on the coverage. And it will be on the Titans. They call pass interference on the Titans. And at this point, even if you've made the mistakes on penalties, you just can't catch a break with any of them now. From the Signetti initial pass interference earlier in the game to this one in the end zone, now the Plum Mustangs on a 4th and 1. It won't be a reset of downs, excuse me, but a 1-yard push. Hart will be behind Odom. Nonenberg under center. They give it to Odom. Ball popped out. We'll see. Titans signal theirs. The Titans do have it. Odom looked to jump over the line. It popped out of his right hand, and the Titans recover. And they'll be set up at the 20, I believe. It was inside the end zone.
Huge Huge break for the Titans right there. Again, especially with that penalty right there in the end zone. The Titans definitely can now have a bit of a sigh of relief as they are now set up at their 20-yard line for their first possession of this second half.
I mean, that is the biggest sigh of relief in the world. You are pinned back against your own goal line, and you get the fumble recovery inside your own end zone to get set up at the 20.
That pass interference looked to be a blessing in disguise there.
Almost. They give it to Rennell. Wiley will stay as the man at QB. Guys, do you agree with the decision to keep Wiley in?
Yeah, I do, especially with we saw Rispoli jogging off in that PI play. Looked to be maybe cramps. I'm not sure what it was, maybe a little injury, but I would stick with Wiley, especially because he was able to get the ball downfield to end the second half there and open it up for the receivers.
Not even that, too, but Rispoli has been a monster on the defensive end, and if Shaler wants to try to get back in this game, I would think that you'd want to try to give your one of your best tacklers a break.
Plum shows blitz. They hold off. Wiley loads deep for Signetti. Now the Titans wanting a flag. It'll be incomplete. That ball was a little wobbler in the air and underthrown. Signetti wasn't able to turn around in enough time to find it. It'll bring up a 3rd and 7. So the first pass attempt from Wiley in this half. And if you're the Titans, you got to at least get momentum here. You can't just punt this one away from your own 20 and expect the defense to go out there again after another short break, Antonio.
Yeah, and it looks like Rispoli just came back into the huddle here for Shaler.
And then we have a flag on the play.
Flag on the play.
But the Titans, I believe, called timeout before. They'll waive the flag. So the Titans take a timeout here with 5:52 remaining. And I believe the play calls might be a little messed up because these are formations we haven't really seen the Titans run right now. With a 3rd and 7 especially. Tapu is the guy in the backfield. But we'll see here. What do you expect the Titans to throw at the Mustangs, Antonio? And for me personally, I would love to see a Sammy Tapu run, but I don't know how a 3rd and 7, how comfortable you are with that.
Yeah, I mean, Tapu has been, he's done very well so far tonight, running the ball for Shaler. Plum hasn't had an answer for him, but as you said, backed up on their own side of the field here, 3rd and 7. It's not a 3rd and 3. If it was a 3rd and 4, 3rd and 3, I would most likely lean towards a Sammy Tapu run. But I look for maybe an air out here, maybe to Aaron Aversa. But yeah, you never know.
We'll see who lines up. It'll be a bunch set. Farthest person is Signetti. And Tapu will be the man in the backfield. And we will see the play. One of the biggest plays so far in this 3rd quarter, outside of that fumble at the 1 from Nick Odom. Wiley dumps it across, has Signetti. Spot looks like he got it, and they'll move the chains, I believe.
Brought down by number 23, Bellino.
Hasn't signaled it. They will move the chains. So Wiley gets the job done on the dump out to Signetti. And again, just a simple play there. Finds it. And that's what you got to ask for if you're Max Wiley. As Rispoli will check back in. So this is the first time we're seeing Rispoli at quarterback in the second half after a disastrous first half in the backfield. Tapu will get it and stays on his feet, and the dog pile will halt at around the 33-yard line. And Tapu, after last week and after a decent start this week, guys, hasn't really had that much going for the Shaler offense, and you can't really blame him. He hasn't been out there that long.
Yeah, especially because he's been on the forefront of Shaler's defense, because they've been, as we've mentioned earlier, they've been on defense a lot of the plays here tonight, especially because of the turnovers that Shaler has caused.
And now Plum will break that play up instantly, and they are pumped. I mean, to get that one off and create some yards for loss. It'll bring it back to another 3rd and long. And the Titans facing another big 3rd down, still pinned inside their own 35-yard line. And a little stoppage in play. Looks like, not sure what it was. Everybody seems like they're ready to play. And I think we'll be good. Signetti will come back onto the field for the Titans. And a 3rd and 7 now. Titans pinned at their own 32. Looking to create some sort of momentum. Rispoli yet to throw. 1 interception on the night. And Saban jumped. Saban jumped. He was lined up in between Signetti and Aversa. And now from a 3rd and 7 brings up a 3rd and 11. And man, regardless of the outcome tonight, this team is going to have to learn how to not commit penalties.
Yeah, John, I don't have the numbers. I don't have as many numbers that you do in terms of stats or whatever, but I don't know how many penalties this Shaler team averages.
We're above 10 on this night.
I haven't been counting, but I would say that so far, these first 4 games, it has not been very pretty in terms of the yellow flags versus the Shaler Titans.
Now Rispoli will run right. Has to get something and just dumps it across and incomplete. Rispoli not able to get anything, and the punt team will come out for the Titans. They have not been able to create anything. They have been halted in their tracks, and the Titans defense will have to take the field again. And how long can they last? They made a 1-yard stop on the previous Plum offensive drive. But how many times can you go on the field for an extended period of time?
Especially with how often that Plum runs the ball, that just becomes taxing over an entirety of a game.
It'll be a high snap, and Douglas's punt is a wobbler, and it will not be a good one. The Titans let it roll inside the 40. Douglas, who was phenomenal last week punting, has not had it tonight. And the Titans, what happened to be a roller coaster in the first quarter, has been pretty much all downhill. And this is going to be a massive uphill climb. This is a defense that has to be tired, has to be frustrated, and the only thing that can really propel them is just the willingness and the want to win. I mean, how bad do you want to win this game?
Yeah, John, it comes down to the nit and gritty here. For this offensive side of the ball for Shaler here.
And Nonnenberg's pass was not backwards. Was looking for Humphreys. It'll be an incomplete pass. The Titans get a little bit of a break there. And this defense, they have been pretty much inside their own 50 for a lot of these drives as of recent. Shaler shows blitz. Rispoli does. Gets a hand on Odom. Now Odom bounces out right. Flag on the play. Odom with a head of steam. Gets out for a big gain. Flag on the play. Looks like it's coming back. That's a huge flag. I mean, that is one that Plum has not had a lot of penalties, and for it to happen right there, that's just a heartbreaker. That was a gigantic gain from Odom to get to around the 22-yard line, but it'll be brought back. And this could maybe be a turning of the tides moment. We don't know for sure, but Antonio now with a 2nd and deep. You got to think the Titans have to capitalize here on this one.
They have to, and if I was the Shaler Titans, I would, which is what Plum's MO has been tonight so far, is hand the ball off to Odom. So if I'm Shaler, I stack the box here.
And this O-line of Plum has looked phenomenal as the Titans will jump again. What is going on with the Shaler Titans? everybody jumping across the plane. And what can you do if you can't clean up the penalties? Your offense has little to no production, and the defense is pretty much fighting for their life every drive. I mean, how do you come out and win this game? High snap. Nuremberg has to make something of it, and he dumps it away. Titans are looking for a grounding flag. They won't get it. It was a high snap, the first really bad snap we've seen from the offensive line of the Mustangs. And Nonenberg just had to throw it away. It was Ehrenberger on the pressure. 3rd and long now, 3rd and 15. But with a guy like Odom, like you said, it's manageable. It'll be C.J. Hart, though, the man in the backfield, to the right of Nonenberg. He'll step back, drop step into it. Now he cuts right, looking for something. And Nelson, did he catch it? Phenomenal catch. Darian Nelson, some of the safest hands I've seen so far this year, and a first down for the Mustangs. And how many times can Darian Nelson break away from his man and get a first down in a play like that fashion?
And that was a massive catch there for Plum. If they don't get that, that's a 4th and 15. Definitely a punt situation here. And who knows, maybe Shaler gets some momentum there, gets a touchdown in 17-14 game.
Now Hart with the carry.
Hart on the carry. Brought down by
So now Hart receiving some of the carries, giving Odom probably a little bit of a break. I believe there's a chance he's getting stretched out on the sideline for a cramp, and with how hard he's been running, you don't want to see cramps, but you don't want to see a guy like that going out of the game. This Titans defense needing to lock in here. We are under 2 minutes here in this 3rd quarter. Hart will keep it, does not get tripped up. Rispoli will bring him down. And it'll bring up a 3rd and about 5 or 4. We'll see where the spot was on the tackle. And the Titans did so well last week holding Hampton down in the run game from McAnany. And this week it just hasn't been there. But again, it's a whole new game when you have Odom and now Hart, who's been looking phenomenal now too on his carries. So a 3rd and 3. Plum looking to fix that mistake of the fumble and go down and score. Nonenberg looks across and tipped off by Rispoli. That's a phenomenal play to bring up the 4th down. That ball was dead-eyed and set for Darian Nelson in the first down. Rispoli put a hand up and keeps the Titans at bay and brings up a 4th and 3. Odom, it looks like with a little bit of a limp there, Antonio. I'm not too sure. It looks like his right leg.
Yeah, and with all the carries he's had so far this night, I haven't kept track, but it's at least been 15, I would say. So, I mean, cramps are imminent if you do carry the ball that much and run as much as he has. So, but I mean, Plum still has been able to run the ball with Odom out of the game.
Odom will get it, and we'll see where the spot. He dives across. Does he get the first?
Odom on the carry.
Looks like it was a turnover on down, and the Titans get it done again. I mean, the Titans defense is keeping them in the game. The offense at some point has to get momentum and capitalize. Josh, what does the Titans offense need to do to bring them back in this game? It is now or never with 13 minutes left to play in this football game.
John, honestly, I mean, I don't know. It honestly does, though, just come down to the offensive end and the offensive playmakers. I mean, the penalties are definitely the biggest thing. So if you're if you want to start a drive here, you have to address the situation with the linemen and the receivers, because there's been a lot of jumping from both guys at each position. So I think it starts there first, honestly.
Wiley will fake the handoff, throws to Cinetti, a phenomenal catch, and it'll move the chains. Wiley has looked pretty calm in the pocket and getting just simple throws out.
And I think that's what they need to. I don't think they need to do anything fancy. I think that they just need to trust. They need to trust their playmakers. They need to trust Wiley, and they need to just have patience. Again, it's not. They still have roughly a whole another quarter of football to play, so they're in no hurry yet. They still have plenty of time. So I think that they need to have some patience and just worry it as like take it one step at a time, one play at a time. Excuse me.
Flag on the play. We'll see what it's on. Looks like it'll be holding against Shaler. Nelson coming up a little shaky after the play. He did get the tackle.
Holding on the Titans.
And the Titans have had penalty problems in the previous years. And they've had specific games where they're definitely not great, but they've never been to a point of this degree where it's this bad.
Yeah, I mean, and John, with where the offense is and the struggles that they've been having, just definitely not something that is going to be is not something that you can be too proud of if you're on the Titans coaching staff.
And I think they're going to have to take their second time out. Oh, excuse me. It was the end of the first quarter. My apologies. We will end things here in the third quarter. Head into the fourth quarter with the score still 17-7 in favor of the Mustangs. Don't go anywhere just yet. We have a jam-packed filled fourth quarter. Join us back here on SATV.
This is Shaler Area Boys Soccer, and you're watching SATV.
And welcome back. Fourth quarter coverage begins here on SATV. The Plum Mustangs leading the Shaler Area Titans 17-7. And the Plum student section has to be getting into it, up 10, looking for their first win of the year. A big section win, and a Plum team that has struggled very much in the last couple of years. And they bring Rispoli down. They got the Rispoli right away on a 1st and 20, and it'll be a second and forever. And from just bad to worse. And you have to be scratching your head if you're the Titans. What can you do on offense? You have really no in-air production. You haven't for the last couple of weeks, and that's what we said in pregame, Antonio, was if you have to rely on it, which is what it's been coming down to, it's just not there.
Yeah, it's just non-existent here, the passing game for Shaler. And that's what happens, as you just said, John, when you rely heavily on the run game.
Something's got to clean up and something's got to happen. I usually say, you don't usually need a big play in order to get back into football games, but this is a time and place right now for the Titans for it to happen, and a flag again. And you just got to assume it's Titans, and it is.
And John, you saw the frustration on Joe Rispoli as soon as the flag went in the air. I noticed that there was some frustration shown with Joe Rispoli. He it almost looked like he kind of yelled a little, probably some choice words, if anything, maybe under his breath.
So a 2nd and 30. Rispoli looking pass. He gets sacked. Slaughter again. He has been a force to be reckoned with all game, and it's going to be a 3rd and forever is the term, but if there's something more than forever, infinity. This is where we're at right now in this drive for the Shaler Titans. They are pinned in their own 2, and the original line of scrimmage is around the 32. 3rd and 40, backed up at their 2. And if the Titans don't get it out quick, and you got to assume throw, or do you get yards? What can you do? Rispoli has to dump it off, gets it to Rennell, and gets tripped up. Great tackle. Everything about this defense right now. Trent Reese on the tackle, and the Titans are going to have to punt, and it is just ugly. It is just not a good look for the Shaler Titans right now. from their opening touchdown, or excuse me, from their initial touchdown drive, you would have thought the play would have been the same. And Douglas's punt is tipped in air. Still returnable. And it'll roll to around the 34-yard line, or excuse me, to the 29. And the Mustangs leading 10, every single bit of momentum in their way.
Mustangs take over at the Shaler 29-yard line. First and 10.
Guys, I'm even at a loss right now. This is not a Titans team we expected to play like this tonight.
Especially coming off of the dominant win they had last week at Hampton.
Yeah, I mean, I think that it's safe to say that they were probably consumed with excitement and emotion, excitement and nervousness all in one for the first section game, as it has shown with the sloppiness of play.
9:23 remaining. Nonnenberg looks to Humphreys, excuse me. He's going to cut up inside, gets a first down, and you got to think here, one more touchdown for the Mustangs, and this game's pretty much out of reach. They're already up 2 scores as it is right now. If they go up a third score, there's just not enough time in this game with the offensive production that the Titans have had to do anything. Big give to Odom. Head of steam up the middle. Bunch of Titans have to bring him down, but not before getting inside the 3. He's bringing the train with him. They'll go hurry up, and why not? Don't let the Titans get set. Presumably, you give it to 3-6. Let him punch it in for his 3rd on the day. And the play gets blown up. Nonnenberg's going to have to scramble.
Nonnenberg on the keeper. Brought down by number 8, Conrad.
Conrad on the tackle. So we see a Hart sub in. It's been in there for Odom in that recent drive. And this will be the bunch set here. Hart in the backfield. Odom right behind Nonnenberg. It'll be given to Odom. Looks like he was stopped short again. It'll be a 3rd down and short.
Yeah, but John, I mean, the last time Plum was in that formation, almost like a tush push, it's important that they try to hold on to the ball this time as Odom fumbled. And again, with where the game is at now, you probably don't want to give the Titans that much any hope or whatever. But again, if you give them the ball back, again, there is a chance though that they try to storm down the field and make it a closer game, try to make a comeback.
And we see a Wildcat formation. It was Nelson. And they'll take a timeout. Again, this is big because, again, if you don't score here, the Titans are pinned very deep inside their own 5. But you have to put these in, especially with how they've played so far. This team has to be confident when they go into the tougher games in this section, whether it's teams like North Hills or Penn Hills or Pine Richland. These are drives you have to put in the end zone. You cannot be at the 1 and not score. So a 3rd and 3, clock stopped at 7:16. The Titans would need a stop here, and they would need to score with about 3 minutes remaining, possibly get an onside. There's a lot of situations that need to happen for the Titans that seem unlikely, if I could put it up into easier words.
Yeah, Plum here on a 3rd and 3, 3rd and short. You assume that Odom's going to get the carry here. If he does, I mean, that's the nail in the coffin here for Shaler.
Again, Plum, a team that has struggled in recent years, but not tonight, having their way with this Titans team. They've done everything they needed to do, and they've done it right. Again, outside of the 1-yard fumble, but It's just a tough and unfortunate mistake, as we will see the Wildcat. Nelson takes the snap. He'll keep it. Cut inside. Touchdown, Plum. They take the lead big time over the Titans, and like you just said, that's got to be that nail in the coffin that the Mustangs have been hunting for. They take the lead by 16, and with this extra point attempt, they'll be up 17 points over the Titans. And this Titans team has had a weird season so far, beating Butler, then losing to South Fayette by around 20, then beating Hampton by 20, and now losing to Plum by 20. I mean, if that isn't a roller coaster, I don't know what is. And now with 7:11 remaining in this game, the Plum Mustangs lead 24-7 over the Shaler Area Titans. And it has just not been a good night for Coach Ryan and his team. It's a night you have to look at if you don't fix anything quickly here. And if you don't come out of here with the win, which is looking like it won't happen. I mean, guys, going into next week's game, Woody High on homecoming. Last year, Woody High came into Shaler's house on homecoming and, to put it lightly, beat them pretty badly. Starters are out by the first quarter, and that team is as phenomenal as we'll get. You have Cam Walters, the quarterback that's been in there since freshman year, obviously Scoop Smith and a bunch of other guys. And this is a team, a Titan team, that if they want any chance against Woody High next week, you've got to pick it up. You need momentum going into the next week. Bigger's kick will get taken by Witkowski at his 15. And he'll get wrap up tackle. That's a phenomenal tackle again. And again, I know tackling is not the most exciting play in the world, guys, but it is very phenomenal to see when guys just absolutely have a perfect tackle. Yeah. There's nothing else that another guy can do.
Yeah, that was textbook, and I think Shaler needs to take one out of Plum's book there, because they've been unable to wrap up Odom so far tonight, and it just hasn't. It's just been sloppy for Shaler, both on offense and defense. The angles of attack they've had just been bad.
Shaler has struggled with initial tackles this year and in previous years, and tonight Odom has made a pretty big mess out of that. So Spoley's gonna have to run for his life and dumps it out of bounds towards Signetti. I mean, what can Rispoli do? He's already had a tough night as it is, and he's not getting more than maybe about 1.5 to 2 seconds before he has to scramble. So we hit the 7-minute mark on the dot. It is a give to Rennell and won't get anything. Maybe lost a yard. And this Titans offense has just been stopped in their tracks after a phenomenal game last week on the run game. And honestly, a decent passing game in terms of what had been created. This team is just not the same tonight. It'll be a twin set. Rennell in the backfield. Rispoli looking for Kostorik. And taken out of bounds. He'll be short of the first, and it'll be a 4th and about 4, I believe. And we'll see who comes out for the Titans. And they're going to have to keep the offense out on the field. Down 17.
I mean,
you need 3 scores.
I mean, John, yeah, it's not like it's not like this is a surprise to us. I mean, again, they have nothing. They just need to put points on the board if they can.
Rispoli looking right, has a man. London on the catch, looks like he was short. Turnover on downs. Was looking for London. Was about a yard or 2 short. And this Titans offense has just been, to not say non-existent, but pretty non-existent as of these last couple of quarters. And it's a head-scratching moment if you're the Shaler Area Titans. What can you do? Especially after going into an extremely tough game next week. Again, Woody High actually did move sections as to why Plum is in this section now, so they swapped. So next week's game won't count towards playoffs, but regardless, you need momentum. Nonnenberg will keep it, looks deep for Nelson, and picked off. Signetti on the pick. Has now a bunch of space and speed in front of him. Cuts it back the other way. Still getting chased. Signetti still on his feet. Inside the 45. Nonnenberg was looking for Nelson, and Signetti caught it, played the safe game, and the Titans now with 6 minutes and 3 seconds remaining might have a spark of life. That's a phenomenal job by Signetti. You would think after the pass interference penalty he took earlier in the game, he might lay off a little bit from running into somebody, but right there, just went up, high hands, and grabbed it. Tapu on the carry, gets about 2 yards. And again, this clock is going to keep rolling, guys. Under 6 minutes remaining. You need to score here in the next 3 minutes.
Yeah, and you need to score, as you said, John, and that needs to be through the air. You can't keep running the ball here because that's just going to chew up the clock.
Again, the Titans have not really attacked any of the secondary, and they've got to get set quick. London will have to switch sides of the field. Again, stacked box for the Mustangs. A ton of time getting burnt. And it'll be a reverse to Aversa, and he gets wrapped up.
Aversa on the carry, brought down by number 5.
Nelson on the tackle. Now it's a 3rd and, I believe, a 3rd and 10. We'll see where the spot was. 5 minutes remaining. Clock keeps rolling. Clock still rolling. No hurry up for the Titans. Titans are going to have to throw here. Rispoli steps back, instant pressure, dumps it off to Aversa. Cuts inside. We'll see where their spot is. He'll be about a yard short. It's a 4th and short. Clock is still rolling. The Titans have to get something going. They've used up a minute right now with about 2 plays. And they're going to say Aversa did get the first down, excuse me. So it'll bring up a fresh set, 1st and 10. Now Rispoli's going to keep it up the middle. Dives across. But again, these just aren't the plays you need. You're burning so much clock. And we do have a Titan down.
Looks like Rispoli, number 2.
Yeah, we'll see what happens here. We will head to an injury timeout as Rispoli gets checked up on. And Rispoli able to walk off the field on his own power, and he's had a tough game on the offensive side. Again, 2 fumbles, an interception, a ton of scrambling. And on the defensive side, he's looked phenomenal again, though. I mean, he's had a ton of tackles, a ton of pressures on the quarterback. Just hasn't been there on the offense, as Wiley will step in now at quarterback. And Rennell will bobble it. Keeps it, and heading towards the sideline, gets the first down at around the 20. That's a wacky play, but it works out for the Titans. Clock should stop until the ball gets set. And if the Titans are to score here in the next the next 30 seconds, there's a chance. There's a chance.
There's a chance. They would still need to get, obviously,
onside
kick.
Score in about 2 minutes.
Yes, there is definitely.
And then leave a minute for another onside kick.
Yes, there is definitely a lot that is.
So odds aren't necessarily in their favor there.
And again, another run. We are heading into the 3-minute mark. And the Titans living, dying by the run right now.
Check back, and number 26, Nick Shepard.
And it's just been a frustrating game for the Titans. Their defense stepped up a bunch of times, but for as many times as they're out there, they can't do it every time. And the offense is just not done what it needed to do tonight. But that's no discredit to the Plum Mustangs. They have looked great as Wiley dumps it to Signetti, looking for a flag, and it will be a pass interference called. Near referee, near Signetti didn't throw it. It was by the pylon. He'll get the flag. But again, back to the Plum Mustangs. Again, this is all Plum Mustangs. Regardless of the Shaler mistakes, they have capitalized on every single one of them. And there's a couple guys tonight that you have to tip your hat to if you're the Shaler Titans. It's Odom, it's Nonenberg, Nelson, the guys we talked about. But I think the big one, in my opinion, that really we didn't talk about enough was Slaughter. I mean, the guy on the defensive line, the defensive end there, he has broken up every play.
I mean, John, he has been in Rispoli or Wiley's face in the backfield almost every play. Really just a disruptor to this Titans offense here. I mean, he has definitely been a huge factor in this Plum Mustangs defense and preventing the Titans from having much offensive success. So aside from those three offensive playmakers, I do think it is safe to say that you can tip the cap, you can tip Shaler, can tip their cap to number 51 for the Plum Mustangs.
Absolutely. There's a ton of guys on that defensive side that have done their job. Trent Reese is one of those guys. Quarterback heading into next week. What do you do on the offensive side of the ball? There's just a ton of things, especially leaning towards the offense, that have to be figured out. Saban was in motion. Wiley looking left, dumping high for Kostoric. And was that an interception? It'll be an incompletion. He was looking for Kostoric, but man, I mean, that was probably about a half a foot away from being picked off.
Honestly, I think it was just a toe from being down the top of the cleat, if we're being honest. I think the Plum defender had possession of it. I just don't think he got his foot in bounds. And again, this is the high school level. I think you only need 1 foot in bounds. So again, that could have been not even a foot. It could have been 2 or 3 inches, if anything.
Yeah, Tyler Bellino, we've heard his name a couple times tonight in coverage, and right there, almost came with a spectacular interception, but not able to make it happen. Rispoli will keep it up the left side, stays on his feet, and gets out of bounds. And man, Rispoli is shaken up again. He took a hard drag down hit. And he's going to get up off on a limp. And at this point in the game, you got to, I think, sit him.
Yeah, I mean, again, John, next week, big game, homecoming week with Woody High. You want to try to start that game off on the right foot, even though you are potentially knocking on the door here of the end zone. I still think that it's just safe to sit Rispoli for the rest of this game and not further risk the injury.
Wiley will keep it, looking across. Was looking for Aversa. Titans wanting pass interference, don't get it. 4th and 9, 2:16 remaining. So the Titans, I should say the Mustangs, 2:16 away from winning their first game of the year, a big section game. This is a huge momentum game for the Mustangs as their schedule does not get easier. Pine Richland, Penn Trafford, North Hills, Fox Chapel, Kiski, and Penn Hills. I mean, that is a tough schedule, especially against Pine Richland. It'll be a home game. As Rennell gets the dump, he has to make something out of nothing. Cuts back inside, but dragged down. It'll be a turnover on downs, and that'll be it, I believe. Be a turnover on downs. The Plum Mustangs will take over, and they will probably need a first down and a couple of knees to end this thing and go home happy. Again, homecoming weekend for the Mustangs. They get the job done. Held the Titans offense to a touchdown. Not a lot of yards. And their offense looks spectacular. And this is an offense I think you have to be pretty excited to go into next week with, even though you are playing Pine Richland again. But Matt Morgan and this team, they have to be pretty excited with the team that has shown up here tonight, especially in that next week's game is home. They have to be pretty happy.
Oh, yeah. I would be ecstatic. They've definitely come out here. And Plum they did not look like an 0-3 team coming out tonight. They looked like the team that was on the throttle, team that did not get their foot off the gas pedal, and they just took it to Shaler.
Yeah, and that's the thing that we said earlier, was that 0-3 record did not really define this team, as Odom's going to try and reverse the field, take a couple of shots, but won't get anything. But that's the thing. I mean, when you play Franklin Regional, Greater Latrobe, and Gateway, those are all teams that are going to probably be playing in the playoffs come late October, early November. Those are teams, and again, they were close games against those teams. I mean, they lost to Franklin 42-7, but Latrobe 32-18 and Gateway 22-15. So if we're being honest, guys, it sounds like they've really been figuring it out the last 3 games, and it's come tonight in a great culmination of football.
Correct, John. And I mean, even though those 3 teams that have already played, while they're not in the same section as Plum, they could see them further down the road if they do make playoffs, if any of those teams make playoffs.
And Odom will get the call here. He spins. And, man, he just can't be brought down. I mean, he's spinning off his own guys, juking the Titans defenders, and that will end things. That was the first down they needed. Mustangs will knee this one out, you presume. Up 17, a phenomenal job well done by this Plum Mustangs team. They get the job done. They did what they needed to do. A team that has lost to the Titans in the last previous years finally get their revenge. And victory formation for the Mustangs. Nonnenbergs takes the knee. Clock will roll, and it will run out. The Plum Mustangs get their revenge. They get the job done. They get the victory W on a Friday night homecoming victory over the Titans, 24-7 in dominating fashion. And as the teams go to shake hands, guys, let's do the post game. 24-7, not the game we expected by any means, I don't believe, guys.
No, especially after the dominant win Shaler had last week. They came off with an amazing running game last week, also defensively able to shut down Hampton's running and passing game, but that just completely turned on its head here tonight. Plum able to get it done on the run game with Odom, at least 15 to 17 carries tonight, and just able to pound it down Shaler's throats. And then you follow that up with TJ Futalis just able to air it out too through the middle of the field.
Yeah, Nonnenberg looked great tonight. I mean, that sophomore, he was calm, he was cool, he was collected. He was any word to describe what a varsity-level quarterback should look like. He got the job done. He did it with Odom. He did it with Nelson. He did it with Signor. He did it with Humphreys. I mean, everybody stepped up. You look at the defense. You look at Reese. You look at Slaughter. I mean, if I'm being honest, if I'm giving anybody on Plum my quote-unquote player of the game, I think it has to be Slaughter.
Absolutely, John. Again, as I said earlier, towards the end of this game in the third or fourth quarter, I can't remember, his presence was everywhere on the defensive end for the Plum Mustangs. A true wrecker for the Titans offense this game. I mean, they had no stop for him. I mean, there was nothing that they could do to stop number 51 from getting in the backfield.
Yeah, and that's the thing is, I think Odom almost might share. He should share a co-player of the game, I should say. If he's the offensive, Slaughter can be the defensive. But again, I don't think those drives happen without Slaughter. I mean, he was breaking down the offensive line single-handedly. That it allowed the other D linemen to get in, and that's exactly what you want. And Slaughter just did his job. He did what he needed to do. And that's what the Plum Mustangs needed to do. They needed to get that first W under their belt. It's a section win. It's exactly what they needed. And for this Titans team, a lot of things have to change, guys.
Definitely. I look for them during practices, try to find something to click on passing, because we just saw tonight when you are fully reliant on the run game and the defense is able to stop that, then Shaler was kind of, they were kind of crapped out of luck here tonight on the passing game. They were not able to get it done. Passing was non-existent, and we saw that on the scoreboard.
Yeah, and that's the thing, I think, is it's not that. If you're looking at the big board, it's not just that. There's a couple of bullet points. One is discipline. I mean, the amount of penalty flags tonight at any level of football is disastrous. It's dirty. Not in the sense that it's dirty. It's just not clean football. It's just not the game you want to play. You don't want to be against a team and then against the penalty flag. It's just impossible to play against. And we saw it tonight. It was impossible to play against. They couldn't get anything done. Another thing is the mistakes. Again, a couple of fumbles. Defensively, just not able to wrap up tackles. If you wrap up a couple of tackles, you got to think, Josh, a lot of good things happen for that defense.
I mean, honestly, it doesn't really, it's just a shame that with the lack of discipline, as you were saying, John, with in terms of tackling by the Titans, I think that and the penalties have been the biggest factors in these first 4 games for the Titans. I think that they definitely need to work on that a lot at practice this coming week, especially as they have to prepare for a huge homecoming game this coming Saturday against Woody High.
Absolutely, and that is where we will be next week in an afternoon homecoming game in Shaler area as the Titans host the Woodland Hills Wolverines. Join us there. As for tonight, John Irwine, Tony DiMasso, and Josh Berger signing off from Plum Stadium. Have a great night, and we will see you next time, Shaler area.